Right. Welcome everyone to our program or our course in project management. So, in this first class, we are simply just going to do a little bit of an introduction, then we shall be able to continue from there. Right. Then, again, this program is simply just an intermediary level that is meant to introduce you to the basic components of project management. I believe once you are able to get the basic components of project management, we can be able to now build from there and get to go further and deeper into more of project management. So with that being said, we can begin our course. All right. So project management is it's quite an important and vital component that helps in so many aspects of development and civilization. So from the word management itself, of course, it's something that has to do with activities being coordinated and controlled. However, uh, as as the society, as the human society has increased in civilization and also has increased in development, this has resulted into a demand of even more um, complex ways of managing these diverse activities in various sectors of our society. So, with that being said, project management itself has also been evolving so as to be able to meet this demand of being able to coordinate and to control the complex and diverse activities of modern industrial, commercial management change, including ICT projects or technology. Now, when we talk about projects, there's one common characteristics that all projects always share or have in common. So that is simply the projection of ideas and activities into new endeavor. So there's usually this thing when when let's say an organization is about to embark on a given project or on a certain project. Maybe let's say Apple wants to start developing an electric car. So Apple itself already exists as an organization and it has got operations running within itself as an organization to keep the organization moving. Now, those operations cannot be classified as projects, okay, because they are an ongoing thing that helps the organization or the company to stay afloat or to exist as it is. However, when Apple decides or any other organization decides to come up with a new invention or idea and then begin to go on a journey to implement this particular innovation or idea, then we have what is known as a project. And this innovation or this idea that you want to implement or that the company wants to implement will involve a certain or a set of activities that will be required so as to come up or to achieve the desired outcome, which is the idea. Okay, so all projects have this one thing in common, that is the projection of ideas and the activities into new endeavors. So now, whenever you are embarking on a project or when an organization is embarking on a project, another component that usually doesn't miss or that is always present is the component of risk and uncertainty. Okay, so risks, the ever present of risk and uncertainty means that the events and tasks leading to the completion can never be foretold with absolute accuracy. Okay, so as you begin to first, of course, you come up with an idea. Okay, you initiate an idea and then you begin to plan how you'll be able to implement this idea. I believe one of them, of course, has to do with identifying the activities that will be required and then putting them together or drafting them up in your given plan. However, it does not necessarily mean that as you begin to implement or execute the activities that you have laid in your plan, that everything is going to go according to plan. This is because we live in a complex world that has got a lot of factors that are able to affect the implementation of your project and also the running of an organization which wants to implement this given project. Therefore, as you make a plan, it is always important to be aware that there will always be some unforeseen or some unforetold factors or things that may come along the way. Henceforth, the element of risk and uncertainty which is ever present to any given project. That's why when it comes to project management, it is always important that we are prepared to handle the risks and also just try to come up with risks, okay, or uncertainties that might arise along the way, and then see how you can be able to handle these given risks or uncertainties that might be able to affect the implementation of our given project. Now, with that being said, the purpose of project management is to ensure that we foresee or predict as many of the dangers and problems as possible and to plan, organize, and control activities so that the projects are completed successfully in spite of all the risks. All right, so now this definition here just now tries to put all of what we have discussed into perspective, in that as we said earlier at the beginning, a project is something that involves activity, and then management has to do with the coordinating and controlling of this activity to ensure that we're able to project or achieve a certain endeavor or desired outcome. Then it is also important to know or to be aware that as we begin to implement, control, coordinate these activities with the aim in our mind to achieve a desired outcome, we must also be aware that there will be risks or uncertainty, okay, that might come along the way. Therefore, it is important that as we are planning, we also try to come up with scenarios or try to foresee or predict dangers or uncertainties that might rise along the way, and then indicate within our plan necessary actions that we can be able to take in order for us to be able to uh, avoid these risks, prevent these risks, or be able to keep these risks under control to ensure that they do not affect the implementation of our desired outcome. All right, so this process should start well before any resource is committed and must continue until all work is finished. Okay, so here they are simply just talking about the process of project management. So for us to be able to properly manage a project, management begins before, okay, the work itself has begun. Here, this is where we have to now start with planning. Okay, so under planning, we begin to look at what resources are required for us to be able to implement our given project. Apart from that, we also begin to look at how much of the resources that we have identified will be required for us to implement our given project. Apart from that, it is important that we also stipulate a time frame in which we are expecting to complete or to achieve our intended or desired outcome. Okay, and once we do that, then we can be able to implement, and this will help us to ensure that our project is being implemented smoothly, effectively, and efficiently. And with that being said, the primary aim of the project manager is for the result to satisfy the project sponsor or purchaser. Why? Because the person who is sponsoring, okay, that project. Or maybe if you are trying to produce a product, isn't it, for someone to purchase that product, one, they would want that product to arrive within a given period of time, or else they'll go buy it from somewhere else or from someone else. Apart from that, if it is a sponsor, maybe they want to receive a return on their investments. Okay, therefore, it is always the primary aim to ensure that you do these things in a given stipulated amount of time that will satisfy the project sponsor or purchaser. And then all other principal stakeholders, of course, should also be put into consideration. There's usually a difference between a shareholder and a stakeholder. A stakeholder can be someone who's not part of the project, but is someone who shares in the project's effects, okay, or in the project's benefits one way or another. For example, stakeholders may simply just be clients, like we gave an example for Apple. Okay, so Apple has got clients that believe in Apple products, and yeah, they supply Apple. I mean, they buy Apple products. They yeah, they like Apple products, and yeah, so they become more like stakeholders of Apple. And whatever Apple does, it's like they're also affected. If Apple fails to deliver their projects on time, then it will also have an adverse effect on them and on their end. All right, so apart from that, within the promised time scale and without using more money and other resources than those that were originally set aside or budgeted. So here, this is just the issue of making sure that we do not waste resources or try to overshoot our budget or our finances than the stipulated budget or finance. So that simply is what project management is all about, the purpose, the aim, and what we'll be looking at in details as we go forward with this course. So this was just an introduction, and I'll get to meet you in our second class.